this so hard? Why is this so painful? Why are there so many obstacles? Because I thought it was supposed to be like this. So you have nothing to compare with. You literally have nothing to compare with for you to say it shouldn't be this way. You understand? So what you are going through is what you're supposed to go through. Hi everyone, my name is Onka. I am a transformational coach as well as a DJ, mama of one, and of recent a YouTuber as well. So I've been wanting to do this for the longest time, but I'm not gonna get into what delayed me. But here I am. On this channel, I'll be talking all things personal growth, mindset, spiritual growth, and relationships. So I really hope you love it here, and I hope you stay. Please do subscribe. Don't just watch, subscribe as well. Share and comment, because I would also love to learn from you guys as well. So this week has really been the past week. Today's the 29th of April. So the past week has been so hectic, overwhelming, and it was the hardest for me. And crazy enough, when I spoke to a few people in my circle, they were also going through the most. I mean, I spoke to my best friend and she was going through the most. I spoke to my brother, same. I was talking to my little sister, same. My mom, so it was overwhelming and quite challenging. And this morning I was talking to my sister and I was telling her, my little sister, she's in uni, and I was telling her that actually there's a video that Miles Monroe, and he was talking about how God doesn't show you God shows you the vision of your life, but he doesn't show you how you're going to get there, right? Because if you were to see all the things that you were going to come across as you get to your vision, or as you actualize your vision, you would end up feeling so defeated and you would probably give up and so on, right? So God doesn't show you that. He only shows you your vision. So that's what you should do. You should hold on to your vision. And I was telling my little sister that. And it also reminded me of the story of when Moses was leading the Israelites out of Egypt. It's out of Egypt, right? So I will be quoting a lot of stories from the Bible because they're just so relevant to our everyday lives. So this is definitely a got this, got that channel, the Bible, Jesus, all that. So if you're not a believer in that, I'm so sorry. It means this is not for you. Or you can just listen just so you can get information and also sort of understand how people think and how they view life, right? From that perspective. So it reminded me of the story of Moses when he was leading the Israelites from Egypt, right? And they were just complaining throughout. I think it took them 40 years. You can correct me in the comments. You can correct me in the comments. And it took them 40 years, and they were just complaining. And there was a point where now there were snakes that came and bit them, right? We assume it's because of all the complaining and them saying they were tired of eating, I think, manna. That's what they were eating throughout their journey. And they were complaining and they felt like they were tired of being in the desert and the journey being long and so on and so on. So, and it's like your complaining it shows us that the complaining doesn't make anything easier. It doesn't make the journey better. If anything, it gets worse. The situation got worse. And it shows me that no matter how tough the situation is, at the end of the day, complaining about it doesn't make it better. And in no way am I suggesting that you should sort of downplay what you're feeling or your problems or your predicament, your obstacles that you're going through. But the more you complain, it sort of prolongs the hardship of your process of getting to where you're supposed to go. Remember, God was leading them to the world of manna. No, the world of honey. Yes, the world of honey. And they were complaining. And remember, God doesn't show you the way. He shows you the vision. He was leading them to a world of freedom, of living good, right? But they were complaining on their way of getting there. So it's like, okay, so what do you want to would you rather stay in slavery than get where you are going to be free? And it's the same with our lives. It's like the road to our destiny, the road to our dreams and our goals and our vision is going to come with its obstacles. They're going to be good times, they're going to be bad times. Even in the Bible, there's time to laugh, there's time to cry, and so on, right? But it's like every time when it's the time to cry, we get so shocked that we feel so discouraged or so let down somehow. But the thing is, it those times are going to be there, and we need to constantly remind ourselves that there will be times of hardship and there will be good times. It can't always be good, right? And again, I was telling my lesson saying that I'm not saying you should not give yourself time to be disappointed, or you should brush off the pain that you're going through. No, I was like, give yourself a day or two where you are just like feeling the feels, where you're feeling sad, when you are processing everything. Because even when Jesus was on the cross, he said, Lord, why have you forsaken me, right? Jesus was God, but he was here as in human form to show us how to live as a human. So he was being human. So which means that even with us, there will be moments where we feel like God has forsaken us, but that is not the case. It's just our flesh not being able to handle the pain or the frustration or the whatever it is that at that point is happening in your life that is not ideal for you. So even Jesus went through that. So do not suppress the pain and the disappointment. Go through it. And it's so important to have people around who are going to hold space for you and actually support you in those moments when you are feeling down. It is okay to feel down. It is okay to go through moments where you are disappointed. When you are disappointed in whatever it is, maybe you were working hard towards something and then it didn't pan out, no matter how much the effort you put in, and you are so disappointed. It's okay to go through that. And remember, even if you give yourself a day or two, it doesn't mean that after that there won't be maybe after 3 months you feel that thing again. You are going to feel it. That doesn't mean you're dwelling on it. It simply means that you felt it and you wanted this thing so bad, right? And you just got disappointed. That doesn't mean do not feel bad about being sad and disappointed about something. Even if you told yourself that you got over it or you are through it, there will be moments where you will feel disappointed again. It's just like, I know there's this I'll look for it and I'll attach it on the video. There's this screenshot that I've seen that talks about consistency, and it's the same as with healing or getting over something, right? One day the circle is like just a thin line inside, the second day is like halfway there, the third day is like back to, you understand? Like healing is not linear, getting over something is not linear. One day you will be like, I am so good, I feel so good, I am over this, and then a month later it's like it just comes back and it hits you. It's because it is in your memory, it is in your body. Your cells take your cells store up some of the things that we go through. Our bodies know the pains that we've been through. So do not feel sad. And that's something that I really want to emphasize to everyone out there. Hold space for people who are going through the most. And I know this with myself, I never want to be in a situation whereby I'm made to feel bad for being sad about something. And in no way does that mean I'm holding on to it. A lot of times people are made to feel bad for being sad about something that might have happened a year ago. It's like this is part of me letting go. This is part of my body, my human body reacting to the situation. This is something that was important to me. So I was just telling my little sister, and I said the same thing to my brother, that feel the feels, go through what you're going through, but at the end of the day, you know what God has shown you. You have the vision. Hold on to the vision. And God said, I have come so that you may have life and have it more abundantly. And he also said, everything is working out for our good, right? And he also said, I forgot the other promises that God has said to us. So hold on to those promises, because God's word is true and it will never change. So even if you are in that moment and you're just going through it, it's painful, call unto God. You can't, like, I go through moments where I'm just like, God, why? Why am I going through this? Why? Right? But my why is not necessarily to say, take the pain and give it to someone else. No, it's more of, it's painful right now. Just like Jesus said, God, why have you forsaken me? It's the same thing, but it does not take away my faith in God. I am crying unto him. He said, cast your anxieties unto me, right? That's what I would be doing at that moment. So going back to the story of the Israelites, and now they are complaining to Moses and they're speaking against God, saying things like, they just tired, you took us there only to bring us to the wilderness, we are tired of this place. And I'm not quoting verbatim, you can go check it out in the Bible. I think it's in Exodus and Numbers, I'm not too sure, but the story is there. You can just check story of Moses and the Israelites. You can go check it out there. So they're just complaining, right? And now comes the snakes. As they're complaining, there's snakes. So there's this saying that says, hell is a bottomless pit. So the situation is already worse, but they are complaining is not making it easier. And we can assume that the snakes came to bite them because of the complaining. I'm not saying that's what it says in the Bible. That's what I'm getting when I read it, right? That the situation can always get worse. Like, because they were giving up on, they were losing faith in God. They were losing trust that God is leading them to the world of honey. And as you give up your faith, that's when the situation gets worse. That's why it says, it is said, hell is a bottomless pit. No matter how much you think you have it worse, there's always something else. If you give up faith, if you give up, it only keeps getting worse and worse and worse. So what better option do you have than to trust in God, to continue being faithful? Because in that way, at least there's a chance, there's a possibility that things can get better. You know what I mean? So if you give up, then what? Then what? You're not even, you don't even have a chance at anything if you give up. So that's what happened with them. They were losing faith in God, and the situation just got worse. The serpent was sent. Okay, let me not say they were sent, because someone will come here and say, no, God, there is no way in the scripture where it says, I sent the serpent. What I'm saying is the situation got worse as they were complaining. They were not appreciative of the fact that they did have food even through that, right? God was providing them with food. They were not appreciative of what they had at that moment, and they didn't hold on to what they have. Instead, they let their negative circumstances overpower them, and they started complaining. They lost faith. And with that situation, when you react to situations like that, that's when they get worse. And I see it with myself as well. The moment I have a negative thought that comes to my mind, and I sort of catch up on it, I catch it, and then it leads to another one. The situation just becomes bigger than it actually is. It becomes worse. So it also speaks to the story where I think Jesus was calling Peter to walk on water, right? And he was, the moment he panicked, that's when he started to drown, right? The moment he moved his sight from God and started focusing on how the water was moving or whatever, but he moved his sight from Jesus, and that's when he started to drown. So it's the same thing. The moment you lose your faith, your trust in God, and you forget God's promises, that's when the situation starts to become worse, right? So the point is, hold on to your vision. You have a vision in your mind of how you want your life to look like, right? You have it. You see it. That's the reason why you wake up. That's the reason you do whatever that's the reason you go to school. That's the reason you go to work. That's the reason you start businesses, right? It's because you have a certain vision of the type of life you want to live. And God has given us a vision of the type of life he wants for us. But there are steps to get there. And also, my little sister was saying that it just feels so hard, right? And I was saying, sometimes we say it feels hard. Yes, it is hard. We're not going to deny that. But it's hard compared to what? It's not like you have a map that was given to you at birth to say, listen, your road to your destiny or to your vision actualizing is this way. You go this way, you turn left, you turn right. There's a traffic circle, you turn whatever, right? So it's not like you have a map here that you were given from birth, and now you have this path that you have now that you're walking on, and you're like, no, man, it's not it. Why is this so hard? Why is this so painful? Why are there so many obstacles? Because I thought it was supposed to be like this. So you have nothing to compare with. You literally have nothing to compare with for you to say it shouldn't be this way. You understand? So what you are going through is what you're supposed to go through, and it's a learning experience. Yes, it's hard because every experience is new, and it's going to take its toll on you. But God didn't say it's going to be easy, right? But it's going to be worth it. And what makes it better, what makes it easier to handle is the vision that you have. That's why you need to hold on to your vision, right? And to hold on to God's promises. I have come so that you may have life and have it more abundantly. That's what he said, and God doesn't lie. You know what I mean? So hold on to your vision. Trust the process. You have to trust it because you have no other choice. Because the other choice is to give up. And what happens then if you give up? You literally lose all chances, all possibilities of things getting better. So the best thing you can do is to hold on to your vision and trust God's promises. So I think, I think that's my message for today. And I just want to say, feel what you're feeling, go through what you're going through, give yourself a moment, give yourself a day, a week of whatever it is that has hurt you and that has sort of let you down. But within that process of you having that meltdown, still trust in God, still call on to God, and remember that he is there and he will never forsake you. And it's human for you to feel what you're feeling, and do not let people make you feel bad for having a meltdown. It doesn't mean you have lost yourself. It doesn't mean you have lost your vision or you've given up or anything. You're just feeling what you are meant to feel as a result of what you went through, right? So sorry about that. So go through what you're going through and always hold on to the vision. And remember, life is just like, when you go to school, when you're in tertiary, in uni, there's different modules that you have to go through to get to your qualification. So it's the same thing. It's literally the same thing. Every obstacle that we go through, it's literally just a module that you're supposed to learn from for you to get to the next level, and don't live life attached to that destiny, like that goal, like I will only be okay as soon as I get to this, and then when you don't get to it, it's a huge disappointment, right? So life is in the daily, it's in living in every day, even before you get to your bigger goal, right? So live your life on the daily. but I really, really want to emphasize, go through what you're going through. Jesus came and he showed us how to live as a human. God came in the form of a human being to show us how to live, and that was Jesus, right? So even Jesus cried on the cross. Even Jesus felt like God had forsaken him, though he knew he didn't, but it was the pain that was speaking. So I think that's it from this video. That's all I wanted to say. I really hope this gives you perspective, and this helps you to give yourself grace in everything that you're going through, and it helps you understand that you don't know the how. So everything that's happening, it doesn't have to make sense. At the end of the day, you are on a journey to get to your goal, to get to the vision that you envision for yourself and that God has given you. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much, guys. Do leave your comments here. I would love to also hear from you guys, your perspective on healing, on getting over things, on like where do you draw your inspiration or your source of courage when you're going through the most? Because it really has been a tough week. Because I also forgot, I spoke to my dad as well, and he was saying he really feels spiritually weak and he finds it hard to believe in God. Not necessarily that he doesn't believe in God, but he finds it hard to believe in God when things are so tough. And I was just saying to him that it is actually in those moments where you need to believe harder in God. You need to push for God in those moments, because the moment you lose your faith and trust in God, that's when the situation seems to get worse. And what we tend to do is to try to take matters into our hands, because you feel like what you want, it's not happening fast enough. And it's the same thing even with the Israelites, when they were just speaking against Moses and God, and they even created an idol, right, to pray to. And that's what we tend to do even in our everyday life. You start to take matters into your hands. Sometimes some people even sell their soul, and selling your soul, it doesn't mean, it's not just like doing rituals, doing crazy things, the things that we hear about Illuminatis and whatever. I don't even know if Illuminatis are real or whatever. I'm just giving you an example so you can get what I'm trying to get at. So selling your soul is not doing all those crazy things. It's also doing things that that are against your character. They are not, you're not going to sleep at night, but you're doing it because you're just so desperate and you feel like God is not doing this fast enough, and your circumstances are they're just too hard for you to handle. You understand? That is also worshiping a false God. You feel like if you put your faith and your trust in another human being, maybe let me just take this deal, even though you know it's wrong. I shouldn't be working with this type of person, but you feel like, you know what, I need to do this, my life is a mess, or I need money, or whatever, right? That is another way of selling your soul. You're going against your character, you're going against your belief. You know this is not a person to do anything with, but here you are because you are that desperate. So do not take your eyes off God. Do not take your ears, your eyes, your soul of what God says. And if you're not someone who believes in the Bible, honestly, just read the Bible as just another motivational book. You read the 5 a.m. Club, you read all these books, but when it comes to the Bible, it's like a huge argument, debate about reading the Bible. Then do not read it for its religious whatever, or whatever the connotation people have over the Bible. Read it just to gain principles, perspective, information, knowledge, and as a motivational book. You can read it that way, and I promise you there's so much that you can get from it when it comes to helping you figure out how to go through life, right? So yeah, I was talking to my dad and I was just telling him, like, that's when you need to push for God even in those moments. Don't say, it's hard for me to believe in God when things are tough, because then you are going to go out of your way to take matters into your hands. And that's why you get people who end up um, committing crimes. And again, please don't come in the comments and tell me that some of us are going through a lot, some people are going through a lot you don't understand. I'm not speaking on that. I am not speaking on that. That is not my point. I know people are going through the worst things. What I'm saying is faith. Keep your faith on God, and that will direct you. Keep your heart and mind, your soul in what God has said about your life, and your path is your path. You do not have another path to compare it with for you to criticize what you're going through and say it's so hard. Yes, it's hard. I'm not saying don't say it's hard, but I'm saying don't look at it in a way that it's not supposed to be this way. It is what it is, because God never showed you how you're going to get there, but He showed you your vision. And as long as you know that where you are taking steps to the obstacles that you're coming across, they are in the path of you getting to the life that you want to live. So yeah, hold on to God's promises, read the Bible. Yeah, I think that's about it. I will see you guys on the next video. Please do like, subscribe, share with whoever you think might need this, comment as well. More than anything, subscribe, guys. Don't just watch, subscribe. Thank you so much. Toodles.